I feel happy. Why do I feel happy? Do I need a reason to be happy? One of the most important things that I've learned, especially over the past, 3 to 4 days now, is that I can create my own happiness within myself just by feeling happy. Throughout my entire life, I have waited for external events to happen to feel happy. However, over these past days, what I've looked at is just my own capacity to generate that for myself, within myself. And so I feel happy. Now the question is, do I need a reason to be happy? When I go to other people, right, and I'm happy and they see that, and they're like, why are you happy? Well, my friend, it seems like you didn't notice it when I was sad or anything else. You just notice it when I'm happy. It's as if happiness is like the black sheep that stands out, you know? I've noticed that. I've noticed that whenever I get happy, people are like, what's going on? But when I'm just, it's the norm. It's the norm. So do I need a reason to be happy? I could have a reason to be happy. Of course, yeah, I could have a reason to be happy, but do I need one? Would a reason suggest an external event or circumstance, right? Would it? Throughout my entire life, it usually has. Throughout my entire life, my happiness has usually been a result of things happening outside of me that affect me, that make me happy. However, it's possible for me to feel happy without anything happening. I can just smile and start to feel really good. Now, the wild thing about this is that that action in and of itself, especially consistently, transforms how I experience life. Because happiness, I guess you could argue that it's a mood, right? But consistently, it also becomes a part of my personality. And as it's said, a person's personality creates their personal reality, right? This is such a fascinating space of awareness to be in because I've been the exact opposite of happy for a long time, which would be unhappy, of course. And it's like, it's normal. However, I would argue that it's not normal. To be consistently unhappy is not normal. Instead of looking at it as normal or not normal, actually, let's look at it as healthy or unhealthy. Something that I find attractive about myself is when I smile. When I'm just in a good mood. And having the capacity to generate that consistently is wild, without having any external events taking place. I am happy. Do I need a reason to be happy? What would that reason to be happy be? Would it be an external event that's happening that I'm waiting for? Or can I just choose to be happy because I choose to be happy? Right? I was choosing to be unhappy. For many years I was. Sure, we can utilize external events. We can wait for them to make us happy, right? And this is the very interesting thing about Newtonian versus quantum creation, right? Newtonian, I'm going to wait for an event to make me happy. Quantum, I'm going to generate happiness within myself and then pull events to me energetically. Sure, we can wait for things to happen in life to feel happy. We can. We can, absolutely. We can also feel happiness within ourselves. Generate that happiness. And despite whatever it is the mind says, because it's going to say things, absolutely. If you've conditioned yourself to wait for external events and circumstances, environments, to make you feel a certain way, make you feel happy, make you feel good, right? If you try to generate that within yourself, what could happen is your mind's going to be like, what are you trying to do? Really? Really? You think you deserve to be happy for no fucking reason at all whatsoever? Yeah, good luck with that. No, you're not worthy of being happy without things outside of you happening. That's the mind right there. The mind likes familiarity and comfort. It likes to go by what is known, right? It likes to wait for events to feel good, to feel happy, right? It's wild. It's totally wild. What I've discovered over the past like 3 or 4 days now is that I don't need anything outside of me to feel happy. I don't need anything to be happy. I don't. A person has some sort of experience in feeling a positive and elevated emotion. That is all that's required. They have that stored in their system. Remembering that and allowing themselves to feel that consistently, that will transform their experiences of life. I don't need anything outside of me to be happy. I don't. It's kind of dangerous, too. Think about how powerful that is. Think about all the people, and I'm not trying to suggest that anything's good or bad or right or wrong. You do what you want to do. There is an entire marketing, I'm trying to think of the right word to use. So much of marketing is used to prey on the people that only believe that their happiness comes from outside of themselves, right? You won't be happy until you have this. You won't be happy until you have that. Or until you awaken, open your eyes, and you're like, oh, I don't need anything outside of me to be happy. And then those marketing schemes turn into the Wicked Witch of the West, and they're like, no, I'm melting. Right? Because they lose their power. Because you've taken back your power. It's wild, isn't it? It's crazy. Shit, you don't need anything outside of you to be happy. The wild thing about this is that as I've really sat with this, the beliefs that have surfaced left and right and left and right and left and right, man, I'm just letting them dissolve. What are you talking about? You don't need anything to be happy, Chris. Come on. You're really going to stop living this way after 33 years? Come on, man. No way. Of course you need things outside of you. Look at the whole industry. Like, you... And then my belief systems just have like an anxiety attack, and then they're all just like, ah! Right? It's like, no, you don't need shit. You don't. You don't. You don't. This smile, this happiness that I'm generating right now, it's coming from within myself. There are things that are going to be happening today that would stress me out. That's not who I choose to be. Not today, not moving forward. And this is also, just to clarify, this is the difference between living from a place of lack and living from a place of love and worth and abundance, right? When you live from a place of lack, which a lot of people have been taught how to, and I was for a long time, you look outside of yourself for what it is that you believe that you don't have. That's how lack works. We don't lack anything, though. We're whole and complete. We are. It's wild. So yeah, you will only look outside of yourself and wait for things outside of yourself to feel happy if you feel like something's missing. But when you're in love, that's the difference right there. Lack, love. Lack, insufficiency. Love, wholeness and completeness. When you come from a place of love, when you're in love with yourself, you're in love with life. You realize that nothing's missing. That's when everything changes. And you can just generate smiles and giggles and happiness whenever you want to.